Hey everyone, ready to hit the open road. Today we're taking a deep dive into English for road trips.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We're going to be looking at a podcast script that's all about, helping you feel comfortable and confident using English on your adventures.
I love that.
Yeah, so think of this like a little shortcut,
Yeah.
to make sure that you can navigate and really enjoy your trip no matter where you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Even if you consider yourself a seasoned traveler, sometimes even those basic travel phrases can trip us up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've definitely had my fair share of, fumbling through those phrases trying to remember what to say.
Exactly right. And so we've got this script, and it starts off by asking this kind of fundamental question, why bother? Like, why should you even bother to brush up on your English for a road trip?
Yeah.
And I was really struck by some of the points that they made.
Yeah.
Like, remember that time we were in France and we desperately needed to find a mechanic?
Oh, yeah.
My high school French was beyond rusty.
I bet that was a little stressful.
It was a little bit stressful. It was a lot of miming going on.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Even beyond, like, the obvious stuff, like ordering food or asking for directions, being able to communicate clearly can really reduce stress and open up all sorts of, cool opportunities.
It's true. It's true. It's about feeling confident and empowered to, kind of handle whatever comes your way on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was looking through the script's vocabulary list, and some of these words are just so evocative, They paint such a vivid picture.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Like scenic route. That phrase instantly makes me want to grab a map and just ditch the interstate.
Oh, I'm right there with you. It's all about, that winding road through the mountains or along the coast.
Yes, exactly. Or how about detour?
Yeah.
It has that sense of adventure, like the thrill of venturing off the beaten path.
That's so true. And it's often on those detours where you find the most unexpected and memorable experiences.
Right, exactly. And then you've got mileage, which is such a practical word, but it also speaks to the vastness of the journey ahead.
Yes, it's like each mile is a marker of progress, a step closer to your destination.
Totally. Okay, so words are fantastic, but we need to be able to actually speak this language right.
Right.
What are some of the phrases that the script highlights as must-knows for any road tripper?
Well, asking for directions is like the classic one, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just about memorizing, where's the bathroom.
Right.
The script actually goes a little deeper and suggests some variations like, could you point me towards? Or is there a gas station in this direction?
I like that it's about being resourceful with the language you have.
Exactly, and it shows that you're, making an effort to communicate effectively, even if your grammar isn't perfect.
So true. What about ordering food? Because let's be real, that's like half the fun of a road trip.
Absolutely. The local cuisine is a must.
Yeah.
And the script gives some great phrases for that, like, what's the specialty here? Or what would you recommend?
Oh, I like that. It shows that you're genuinely interested in what they have to offer.
Right. It's not just about like rattling off an order. It's about engaging with the people and the culture. And don't be afraid to use those pointing fingers sometimes.
Oh, that's a good point.
A smile and a gesture can go a long way.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a language barrier.
It's funny you mentioned nonverbals because the script emphasizes that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about, gestures, facial expressions, even just like the power of a smile.
It's about that human connection.
Yeah.
Sometimes words aren't even necessary to convey kindness or gratitude.
It's true. It's true. It's about conveying your intent and, building rapport, even if you maybe stumble over a few words here and there.
Exactly. And think about, would you rather have someone speak perfect English but sound like a robot? Or would you rather have someone who makes a few mistakes but is clearly trying their best and, engaging with you authentically?
Right. I'd much rather have the genuine connection.
Me too.
Okay, so I'm feeling inspired. Should we try out some of these phrases ourselves?
I'm always up for a little language challenge.
Okay, perfect. So imagine we're at a roadside diner. Okay. You're the friendly server. I'm the hungry traveler.
Let's do it.
All right.
Welcome to Millie's Diner. What can I get for you?
Wow, everything looks delicious. What's the specialty here? I want to try something really local.
Well, you came to the right place, honey. Our most popular dish is the Blue Ridge BBQ platter. Folks come from miles around for it. It's slow smoked for 12 hours and comes with all the fixins.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'll have that, please. And maybe, can I get a slice of that pecan pie I see over there?
You got good taste coming right up. Anything to drink with that?
Just water for now, thanks. Oh, and actually, do you happen to know if there's a scenic lookout point nearby? I'd love to take some pictures while I'm in the area.
You betcha.
Yeah.
You see that mountain road just past the diner? Follow that for about 5 miles, and you'll see a sign for Sunset Vista. You can't miss it. It's got the best views in the county.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I can't wait to check it out.
You enjoy your meal? Now you're here. And come back and see us again.
See, it's all about taking that first step, even if you're a little nervous. The more you use these phrases, the more comfortable you'll become.
It's like anything else, practice makes perfect, or at least progress right. And what's really interesting is that the script emphasizes something that a lot of people overlook.
So, I'm all ears. What is it?
It's understanding road signs and traffic rules in English. I mean, not just for avoiding tickets, but for actual safety. Can you imagine missing a crucial warning sign because you just didn't understand it? I mean, that could be really bad.
Yeah, that's a really important point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the trip and forget about those practical things.
Exactly. So what does the script say we should do about it? Well, they actually recommend checking out resources that are, specific to where you're going. For example, did you know that in some countries, flashing your headlights means something totally different than it does here? Yeah, it could be like a warning, or even a way to signal that you're letting someone pass.
Wow, I had no idea. That's something you definitely wouldn't want to get wrong.
Right. It's a good reminder that what's considered polite or safe, in one country might be totally different somewhere else.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads into another point that the script brings up, which is common road trip mistakes, things to avoid.
Oh, yeah, those are always good to know.
Right. And some of them are pretty universal, like not checking your gas levels before heading out into, a more remote area. I've definitely been guilty of that one.
Oh, tell me about it. Remember that time we almost ran out of gas in the middle of nowhere in Nevada? We were so focused on finding that quirky roadside attraction that we totally forgot to fill up the tank.
I remember that we were pushing the car the last mile.
Oh, it was an adventure though, right?
Oh. It was part of the story, but speaking of planning the script, also warns against, overpacking your itinerary. It's so tempting to try to squeeze in every single site and activity, but sometimes those most memorable moments happen when you kind of leave room for spontaneity.
Oh, that is so true. I am a notorious planner, but I have learned to embrace, those detours and those unexpected turns.
Me too. Like that time we stumbled upon that local farmer's market in Tuscany just because we took a wrong turn and got completely lost.
The best things happen when you get lost right. It's all about embracing the journey, not just the destination. And, speaking of getting lost, the script offers some really helpful advice for, those moments when you just can't find the right words.
Oh, this is important. Okay, I'm listening.
So they encourage us to use simple language, and gestures. Don't be afraid to point to things or draw pictures or even act things out. Remember, it's all about getting your meaning across, not about, speaking perfect English.
That's a great reminder. It takes the pressure off, right? You don't have to sound like a native speaker to communicate effectively.
Exactly. Most people are happy to help if they can see that you're making an effort.
Right. As we're talking about this, it's striking me that there's a real emotional aspect to language learning that maybe we haven't touched on yet.
That's a really interesting point. What are you thinking?
Well, I think there's a real sense of accomplishment that comes with being able to communicate in another language, Even if it's just a few basic phrases, it's like you're unlocking this new part of your brain and expanding your horizons.
Totally. It's so empowering, isn't it? It opens up these doors and allows you to connect with people on a much deeper level. And I think there's also an element of vulnerability involved, which can be a little scary, but also incredibly rewarding.
So true. It takes courage to step outside of your comfort zone, and try to speak in another language, especially when you're not perfect. But when you see how your efforts are received by others, like that smile of understanding or that shared laugh, it's just the best feeling.
It's those human connections that make travel so special.
Yeah, and I think they happen more often when we're willing to be a little vulnerable and embrace the possibility of making mistakes.
Couldn't agree more. It's about, letting go of that need for perfection and just enjoying the learning process and connecting with others.
So as our listeners getting ready for their road trip, what would you say is the most important thing to keep in mind when it comes to using English on their journey?
That's a great question.
I'd say it's all about attitude, Approach it with a sense of curiosity, enthusiasm, and a willingness to learn. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes, and remember that a smile can go a long way. I love that embrace the journey right, both literally and figuratively. And speaking of journeys, we're coming to the end of ours in this episode. But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question. What's one thing you're most excited to say or do in English on your road trip? It could be anything from ordering your favorite local dish to striking up a conversation with a fellow traveler. Whatever it is, set an intention, visualize yourself using those newfound language skills, and most importantly, have fun with it.
I love that. And who knows, maybe this road trip will spark a lifelong love of language learning.
Now, wouldn't that be amazing? Okay, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into English for the open road. We hope you feel inspired and equipped to hit the road with confidence. The world is full of incredible people and experiences just waiting to be discovered. So pack your bags, practice those phrases, and get ready for an unforgettable adventure.
Safe travels, everyone, and happy learning.
You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I keep thinking about something the scripts mentioned, this idea that the road trip itself can be like a giant language learning classroom.
Oh, it's so true. Every interaction you have, every sign you see, every menu, it all becomes a chance to kind of test out your skills.
Yeah.
And what's great is that the stakes are really low. People are generally very understanding, especially when they see that you're making an effort.
Right. It's not about being perfect. It's about being willing to, put yourself out there and try. And that actually brings me to another thought. I think there's a really cool feeling of accomplishment that comes with being able to connect with someone in their own language.
Absolutely. There's something so empowering about it.
Yeah.
It opens doors and it creates this sense of shared understanding that goes beyond words. And I think there's an element of vulnerability there too, which can be a little bit scary, but also so incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, you're right on the money there. It takes courage to step outside of your comfort zone and try to speak in another language, especially when, you might not get it perfectly right. But those moments of connection, when you see that spark of recognition in someone's eyes when they understand what you're trying to say, that's like pure magic.
It is. It reminds us that we're all human. Just trying to navigate this world and connect with each other. And sometimes those connections happen in the most unexpected places, like a roadside diner in a foreign country.
So for our listeners who are getting ready to embark on their own road trip adventure, what final piece of advice would you offer them?
I would say embrace the journey, let go of that need to be perfect, and just allow yourself to be a beginner again. Approach each interaction with curiosity and enthusiasm, and remember that a simple smile can speak volumes.
Beautifully said. Remember, folks, the world is full of incredible people and experiences just waiting to be discovered. Pack your bags, practice those phrases, and get ready for an unforgettable adventure.
Safe travels, everyone. May your journeys be filled with stunning views, meaningful conversations, and memories that will last a lifetime.
And until next time, happy learning.